The story of Tofu the Samurai. Once upon a time in the mystical land of Japan, there lived a legendary samurai named Tofu. Now, you might be thinking that a samurai named Tofu is rather unusual, and you'd be right. But this is a story where unusual is the norm. One fateful day, Samurai Tofu found himself magically transported to the picturesque country of France. How he ended up there, nobody knows. Confusion and hunger clouded his mind as he stumbled upon a quaint boulangerie. With his sword by his side, he boldly entered and attempted to order a comforting bowl of steaming hot miso soup. Unfortunately, the baker, Monsieur Pierre, looked at him with a perplexed expression. Samurai Tofu furrowed his brow and repeated his request in increasingly exaggerated gestures. As he gestured wildly, he accidentally knocked over a precariously stacked tower of baguettes, causing a comical cascade of bread and a cloud of flour to rain down upon him. The poor samurai was covered from head to toe in a white powdery mess. Determined not to let miscommunication defeat him, Samurai Tofu decided to seek the help of a group of nearby mime artists. Unbeknownst to him, these mimes were the creme de la creme of the silent street performance scene. Intrigued by the samurai's plight, they took him under their wing and, unintentionally, turned him into their apprentice. Samurai Tofu found himself miming his way through the vibrant streets of Paris, much to the delight of amused tourists. From invisible walls to imaginary rope-climbing escapades, he had unwittingly become a mime sensation. His exaggerated gestures and confused expressions were a hit, earning him as many laughs as confused looks from bystanders. But even as Samurai Tofu's miming skills flourished, the longing for his homeland grew within him. He realized that returning to Japan would be no easy feat, so, instead of moping around, he decided to embrace the French way of life. He traded his traditional samurai garb for a fashionable beret and a classic striped shirt. Embracing his newfound French persona with gusto, Samurai Tofu discovered a hidden talent for painting. Inspired by his love for tofu, he created magnificent canvases that melded Japanese and French influences. The art world was captivated by his unique tofu-inspired masterpieces, and soon galleries were clamoring to exhibit his creations. But fame and fortune couldn't fill the void in Samurai Tofu's heart. He yearned for the simplicity of his samurai life. Just as he was about to give up hope, an unexpected invitation arrived. It was from a popular French cooking show that wanted to feature him as their celebrity guest. With renewed enthusiasm and a sense of purpose, Samurai Tofu returned to his culinary roots. The cooking show judges were astonished as he presented them with his fusion of Japanese and French tofu recipes. Each dish was a masterpiece of creativity and flavor, leaving everyone speechless, except for the occasional ooh and ah. And so, Samurai Tofu realized that his unintentional adventure in France had brought him far more than he had ever imagined. It had allowed him to discover new passions and talents, spreading the magic of tofu to the world in the most unconventional way. With his heart full, he bid adieu to France, ready to embrace his old life, but with a few new tricks up his sleeve. And thus, Samurai Tofu continued his journey through life, forever unfazed by the unusual twists and turns that fate threw his way. Whether he was wielding a sword or a paintbrush, he knew that every misadventure was simply a stepping stone to something extraordinary.